This is our vertical angle lesson. Remember, vertical angles are opposite angles that equal one another. Two lines meet at a point. Find the values of R, S, and T. Remember, these are vertical angles. Let me just bring this up just a little bit. And what these are, so because they are vertical angles, they are equal to one another. So these two here are equal to one another. Therefore, S equals 25 degrees. Because S equals 25 degrees, we can then say that this is our straight line. So 25 degrees plus R degrees, 25 degrees plus R degrees equals 180. So we can subtract 25 from both sides. So therefore, R equals 155 degrees. And because R and T are vertical angles, therefore, T therefore equals 155 degrees. Our next problem is example 1. So we are going to set up and solve an equation to find the value of R. R here is vertical to these two angles here. So therefore, R equals 28 plus 16. Therefore, R equals 44 degrees. Our next example is exercise 1. We have A, O, and F. So this one right here, AOF, if you notice right here, equals 144 degrees. We want to know what C equals. Well, if we find, we can notice right here that this and this is that vertical angle right here. We also notice that this box right here is our 90-degree angle. So if we want to find out what C equals, we can say C plus 90 equals 144 degrees. So I can subtract 90 from both sides. And we then have C equals 54 degrees. Our next problem works the same way because we're going to set up and solve our equation, and we need to solve it for T. Well, here's T right here. So if I look at these, I have this angle right here. So if I try and find that angle that is opposite, I actually have two angles that meet that criteria, which is here and here. So these two angles added together will form that one angle that will be close, will be the opposite. And again, I've got my little angle here that's my 90-degree angle. So actually T is going to equal 26 degrees plus 90 degrees. So T actually is going to be 16 degrees because they are vertical angles. Our next exercise, exercise 2, we are going to not only find the value of X, but we also have to find the value of BAC and BAH. So in order to do this, we have this angle here, this angle here, which are vertical angles, here and here. If you notice, there is nothing here that can help us and nothing here that can help us. So here's our 90-degree angle, so that's 90 degrees. So here we have 5x plus 3x, and that's going to equal 90 plus 30. So here on this side, I can add those together and get 8x. 90 and 30 is 120. So dividing both sides by 8, I have x equals 8 goes into 12 once with 4 left over. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So x equals 15, but we are not done because we have to find the measurement of angle BAC, which is this angle right here, BAC, which is 5x. So 5 times 15, which will give me 75 degrees. And then the measure of angle BAH, which is right here, BAH, which is 3x, which is 3 times 15, which is 45 degrees. And there is our answer for that. So now for example 3, we have to find the value of x, and again we're going to find the measurements of DHF and AHD. And again we have two vertical angles here. We have our angle here, and we have our angle here. So we have this angle and this angle. We have that 90-degree angle right here, so this is 90 degrees. So here we have 5x plus x, and that's going to equal 42 degrees plus 90. So here I have 6x equals 132 degrees. So if we divide both sides by 6, our x is going to equal 22 degrees. 6 goes into 13 twice with 1 left over, and then 6 goes into 12 2 times. So the angle, I'm going to put it under here, the angle measurement, M means the measurement of DHF. So DHF, which is that x degrees, is 22 degrees. And then the measurement of angle AHD, let me move this up just a little bit here, is 5x, which is 5 times 22, which is 110 degrees. And that's the answer for that problem. Our next problem will be exercise 3. So exercise 3, we're going to set up and solve an equation to find the value of x and then find the measurement of one of the vertical angles. Remember, we only need to find one because if they're vertical angles, they are equal to one another. So again, this angle is going to be equal to this angle, so I only need to find one. So here I have 3x equals x plus 30. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides because I can do that. I can subtract x from both sides. So I can subtract x and I get 2x equals 30. Divide both sides by 2. And I get x equals 15. So here, it doesn't matter what you want to do, whichever is easier for you. I'm just going to take the x plus 30, replace 15, and add 30 to it. So the measurement of one of the angles is 45 degrees. In example 4, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to set up and solve the equation. So here we've got 4x and x plus 54 degrees. So we have, and it doesn't matter how you set it up, so I'm going to keep this 4x on my left-hand side, equals x plus 54 degrees. So I'm going to subtract both sides by x. And I get 3x equals 54. So if I divide both sides by 3, I get x equals 18. So again, I'm going to add because it's easier for me to add than it is for most of you guys to multiply. So I have 18. Well, let me put x plus 54 up here first, please. Then if I add these together, I get that my angle is 72 degrees. The next thing that I have to do is for exercise 4, and again, we are going to be doing the same thing. We have 3x and x plus 64 degrees. We have 3x equals x plus 64 degrees. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have 2x equals 64. So if I subtract or divide both sides by 2, I have x equals 32 degrees. This time I'm going to multiply. I'm going to do this one right here. I'm going to do 3x. So 3 times 32, which is going to equal 96 degrees. My next example is example 5. And I'm going to set this up as well. So this one and this one here. So I have 5x equals x plus 132. So I have minus x on both sides. So I have 4x equals 132. So when I divide both sides by 4, we have x is going to equal, 4 goes into 13 3 times with 1 left over. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So x is going to equal 33. So I have x plus 132. So 33 plus 132. And that's going to equal 165 degrees. Exercise 5, and I believe is our last question. Here, be careful. It's a little difficult to see, but here are my 2 angles right here and right here. And remember, this is our 90-degree angle, ladies and gentlemen, right here, okay? So we have B plus 95 degrees equals 90 plus 80. Now, you don't really need the degrees in here, so I'm going to take that out of there because it really shouldn't be in your work. You're going to put it in at the end. So I have B plus 95 equals 170. And then I'm going to subtract 95 from both sides. So B is going to equal 75 degrees. And that is the end of the lesson.